Hey Libra, welcome to your tarot session. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for your patience with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, let's dive into your reading. Make sure to like and subscribe, join the family. Let's see what's the general energy right now in the present moment for you, Libra. Libra. Oh, okay. The World card. I love the World card because it doesn't show up a lot. When you see it, you know that there is something in your life that you have cleared away, and you're never looking back on it. It's the ultimate sense of freedom. We're not holding any grudges. We are not looking for people to get hurt, regardless of what they have done. We are free. Free from certain feelings that were making us like kind of feel stuck in our lives. You know, this is fixed energy. So when I see the World card, I feel like you probably have been stuck in a plateau. You've probably been dealing with the same type of energy over and over again. You know, there are two infinity loops here, two ribbon shaped like an infinity symbol. And also, when you twist this sphere here, it gives you an infinity loop. And that to me was always a symbol of, okay, you've been repeating cycles. You've been dealing with the same type of stuff. And now you're free. It feels a little miraculous. It's just like when you are, let's say, obsessed with someone or something, and then you wake up one morning and you realize, I haven't thought about this person in a few days for the first time. Wow, that's this sense of freedom. King of Pentacles is here. So here you're honoring all the lessons that this past circle taught you. And I've been getting that a lot in your readings recently, Libra, like a curse has been lifted, a spell has been lifted, and it keeps on kind of bleeding in your other readings. And there's this sense of appreciating that, accepting that, where you are right now in your journey and how hard it has been. I feel like we feel bad sometimes for looking into the darkness. You know, we want to be optimistic and we want to have good vibes only, which is not the way to go, especially for a Libra. You guys are the passageway between the light and the darkness, and it's so important to find this comfortable space in between. And when we're able to identify the darkness, I think that the light is so much easier to see. And the kings are very good at that. They are balanced, they are comfortable there, and they feel a little unshakable. And that's where you are right now. Again, there's this honoring of the past for you, this honoring of everything that you've been through. And instead of blaming yourself, pointing fingers, and kind of letting the anger and bitterness like build up, there's this full clearing that happens with the world. But I think you've been dealing with pretty uncomfortable energies for a while. Slowly or surely, you're free from that. Lover's card. And I'm very sorry. I just want to point that out. Like, I can hear myself talking and it feels like I don't know, I sound lost. I just spent the last few days with a baby. My younger sister had a baby and I'm spending as much time as I can with her. And that's why the readings are a little late. And I was doing so much baby talk in the past few days that now I'm just trying to come back to a normal type of speaking. The first thing I did coming back was recording your session. So just thank you for your patience and understanding. But yeah, I think I sound a little weird for some reason. Okay, Lovers, Eight of Pentacles. So it feels like there's new communication here with the Lovers card. To me, this is always about communication, how We always say communication is the most important thing in relationships, not just in love, but in all relationships. We want to make sure that we are understood and we understand the other person. There's this mirroring energy here that's happening. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it feels like there's work in progress happening around communication for you with another person. Is it a new person? Is it someone that you're reconnecting with? What I know right now is that you are showing up as the King of Pentacles in this connection. And there's the Eight of Pentacles on the other side, which mirror each other so beautifully. I am willing to put in the work. I am willing to listen and receive what you have to say because I feel that reciprocity. So here, it feels like there is the hope of something new, a glimpse of something new after, again, this full-on release and liberation. And I don't know if it's, again, reconnecting with an old friend, a new person. We have Four of Swords, the stars at the heart of this reading. You're showing up as this healed version of yourself. You are ready now to step in new relationships as this new version of you, as this improved version of you who healed certain things. You're not stepping in with preconceived ideas. You're not stepping in with, old energies. Again, I felt like in the past you were maybe angry or bitter because of something, which makes sense with everything that you've been through that we felt in previous readings. And now the Four of Swords is here. And Four of Swords to me is about putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. And this is what you've been learning to do, Libra. You have been learning to put yourself first. And this practice is something that you will keep forever. I think that you are now able to receive differently, to give in a healthier way. And you're not cultivating this bitterness of, I give so much. I am constantly saying yes. I've done everything for you and I don't feel this reciprocity. You understand now that it wasn't just about other people. It was everyone. If you give too much, you cannot expect other people to give you as much. And that is a very shitty reality. I feel like, I'm a Venus ruled sign also. I know what it is to be a people pleaser, to give too much. And at one point in my life, I was bitter I was angry at everyone. Like, why do I give so much and no one gives anything in return? And you get to a space of healing where you realize they got used to me giving so much. If I give so much, it's because I believe that I am not enough, just me. So here it makes total sense for me, especially with, all the naked bodies you're seeing here, which is a very important symbol in the tarot. We are enough as we are. It's not about the clothes that we wear. It's not about what we have to give. It's about our energy and how precious and sacred it is. And that's the thing. As you were, again, learning to give yourself to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you don't feel bad for putting yourself first. And people are inspired by that. That's why the King of Pentacles showed up first. And I said, you are showing up in the reading as the King of Pentacles. Someone who knows who they are. Someone who knows and understands that they are good enough as is. They don't need to change. They don't need to give too much. So there's this equal give and take now in your relationships. And again, it's a work in progress. It's not going to be perfect overnight. But there's this beautiful improvement here. And you feel that. You feel that reciprocity. King of Wands. There's another king showing up here. And I kept feeling like there was something important about a relationship. King of Wands is here. You manifested something. And it took so long to find you because you weren't ready to receive it. You weren't ready to receive because you were in a giving mode, a full-on giving mode, giving myself away completely. Maybe you realize at one point you were giving your power away. It's something that you carried with you for a very long time, this myth that you weren't good enough. And actually, it's the biggest lie you've ever told yourself. 6 of Swords is here. I love that. You're moving away from old beliefs about yourself, old beliefs about how you should, again, show up in relationship. Number 6 is a very important number. In magic, it's the number of our personal guardian angel. And you have 2 6s here. So I think that you feel protected. This change, again, this kind of layer of you that you're shedding, this myth that you cultivated for so long, that you're not enough as is, that you need to change your physical appearance. You need to maybe give gifts, always showing up with something, always being the first person to help everyone. It just became so heavy. And I think at one point you ask yourself, am I going to be able to move on from that? I'm just so used to showing up in that way. And you were supported by your guides from the beginning, but it was your job. It was your investigating that needed to take place. And again, the Star card at the heart of this reading is just a kind of a huge confirmation that you are healing another layer right now. Something that's been maybe inherited or that has been just part of you for so long. And now you're remembering who you were before that, who you were before you inherited this way of being. Because it feels like you learned that from another person. I don't know why I'm feeling that way, but you've learned this from another person. You probably saw one of your caretakers or people around you doing so much. And it's like you learn from them. And it was never you. It was never you. Yeah, 10 of Wands is here, another confirmation. And it's so cheesy to say that with Libra, but it really is you recalibrating the scales. And when you give too much, the scales aren't balanced. 10 of Wands is here. And 10 of Wands is, of course, it's a full-on clearing. It's an ending. But it's putting all the wands down and asking ourselves, what can I do differently? If I'm constantly angry, if I'm constantly unsatisfied with relationship, with work, I feel like there's always this missing piece. I feel like no one understands me. I have to look in the mirror and I have to ask myself, what can I be doing differently? That is self-awareness. When we blame the world, when we constantly point fingers, and I'm sure you've met people that are that way, maybe you were that way in the past, it's always others that are the problems. I've met so many people, and I'm not gonna call out names, but I know someone in my life who's been married like 4 times, and they were constantly saying, why do I always end up with the same type of person? They're always crazy. And one day I told this person, I was like, the only thing they have in common is you. And I think someone needed to say that to him. And there's this sense of, it's not always other people. There's the collaboration. And there's this huge realization here. And I think that with the Queen of Swords, you're nurturing something that has been hiding very, very deep within you. Again, it's something that you inherited. And that's why the World card is so important. When we say we're never looking back, this is the last card of the major. It's a chapter that ends, I would even say a full story, a layer of us that's being shed. And the Queens invites us to nurture the parts of ourselves that sometimes we take for granted, sometimes we ignore. And I think you're showing up with so much compassion for yourself. It's like you're connecting all the dots and you're realizing why you are doing certain things and why it has been so hard in certain relationships. And this is the first thing I said when I saw the World card. You're not looking to hurt people back. You're not obsessing over someone getting their karma. You're letting go of the grip of that, and you are free. You are free. So I'm going to use another tarot deck, and I want to know, because I keep looking at the 10 of Wands. And when there's an ending like that, there's always some type of new beginning here. What I'm seeing is that the Queen comes right after the 10. The Queens, again, are about nurturing. The Swords are about our mental health, our nervous system, our ego. There is something here that you need to nurture. You still need to work around it. It's a practice. So I want to know what will be born out of this practice. Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles. It's like your guides are saying you're going to have to be patient, Libra. This is a very long process. We have the Temperance card and the 7 of Pentacles. You are the alchemist of your life. When you see the Temperance card, you know that you are currently transforming some type of ugly feeling into something beautiful. It could be healing. It could be opportunities. Again, whatever has been blocking you in the past, it has been lifted, but there's still a lot of work to do around that. Having conversation, having very deep conversations and not being afraid of sharing those parts of yourself. Again, what are you nurturing right now? Is it your mental health? Is it that you are very careful with communication? Again, if there's a new person in your life, are you kind of practicing with them? Meaning really starting over, going through a major reset and exploring how different it could be if you show up differently, if you show up as this healed version of yourself, all the magic that can show up from that. But again, you're going to have to be very patient with the 7 of Pentacles, because since this is something that you inherited, it's a very, very deep root. And there's still exploration that needs to be done. I think that you're still going to experience certain bumps in the roads. And it's going to be your job to say, I'm not failing, I'm learning. The Temperance card. Again, I am the alchemist of my life. So every failure, every bump in the road is actually adding to my value, is actually shining a light on the other layers of healing that I need to experience. So I think that this reading is showing up for some Libras that have been going through a lot of ups and downs. And your perception of it is, I'm failing. I didn't learn everything. The spell hasn't been lifted. Why am I dealing with the same type of things? Because again, it's not just this overnight thing. It is a practice. You know, and that's just an example, but let's say you tell yourself, I'm never going to eat sugar ever again. You're going to eat sugar eventually again in your life. Of course, there's sugar in everything. We are dealing with things that are out of our control, but it's a practice to identify, to be more careful, and again, to not blame yourself when you're going through something difficult, when you're having a hard time communicating how you feel, when you're feeling blocked. Can you express that? There's something very important for you about communication that's improving, and I think it's gonna positively impact so much in the future for you. So much. You know, the Queen of Swords wants to come out. There's a bunch of cards that fell on the floor. Let me just pick that up. So let's honor that the Queen of Swords wants to show up again. This is it. The Queen of Swords is you. And you know, some people see it as Aquarius, some people see it as Gemini. I absolutely see it as Libra energy. Queens are the ones who take care of the garden of life. So the pages, they are the seed. The knights are the first sprout of the seeds. The queens are the garden, the nurturing of the garden, and the kings are the full-grown tree. So in the queens, we are actively working on something. We are not giving up. Sometimes there is going to be, again, dead roots. Sometimes our plants are going to be, just not good. And other time we're going to have to nurture certain sprout that are very healthy, but we never know. And I feel like nature is such a good way to express just everything, because humans were so connected to nature, but we tend to forget because we are in our minds. You are Libra, you are the swords in the tarot. You are a forward thinker. And I think that when you cultivate certain practice, again, with the mind, meditation, writing, journaling, breathing also is connected to the sword, communicating, I think that you can constantly improve. And it's not about being the best version of yourself. It's about being the truest version of yourself. And I think this is exactly where you're headed. That's why there are two kings here. That's why the star is at the heart of this reading. The world, all the cards here indicates how you are on the road to becoming the truest version of yourself. Again, not the best. That is a concept from corporations that benefit from you hating yourself, benefit from you believing that you're not good enough, which you have believed for years. So now, let's throw that idea away. I don't want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the truest version. I want the inner light to shine through, the internal to match the external, but it's never about the way your body looks. It's never about the clothes you're wearing and the things you have to offer. What do you have to offer yourself? What is, again, this energy that you are currently nurturing as the Queen of Swords that needs more vulnerability, water, that needs more sun? Again, the sun is the truest version of ourselves. So there's something that, and I'm not saying that you did that, but it's like someone faked their way in, but actually they realized that it wasn't aligned with who they really are. And maybe you got to a point where everyone was getting on your nerve, where you have outgrown every friendship, every relationship, and you're like, I don't fit anywhere. And that's an internal thing again. It's not about other people. It's not about them. They are going through their own thing. It's about you. You've outgrown everything. And you are giving the opportunity to start over completely. Completely. Look at the bigger picture, and emotions are running high. Again, if you feel overwhelmed, it's not because you're doing something wrong. Actually, you're doing something right. The nervous system, the ego, the brain, our anxiety, it goes through the roof when our soul is in the driver's seat. And this is what's happening here. What comes after the World card is the Fool, baby. The Fool is the soul of the tarot. You are beginning a brand new soul journey. And it's a lucky one because Sagittarius has shown up here. It showed up in the Temperance card. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion. There is so much waiting for you. And of course, you're feeling emotional about it. Of course, your nervous system is activated because your brain is not happy that your soul is leading the way. But when we are showing up as the truest version of ourselves, the soul has to be in the driver's seat. So enjoy this new ride. And remember, you're not failing as long as you're learning. The most important thing is to work on communication. There's something here. I don't know if you've been keeping a lot to yourself. Again, if you've been feeling like no one matches your energy, there is something here, someone here that is ready to show up, matching that energy, that reciprocity. You're about to feel it again. Don't lose hope. Look at the bigger picture. I'm sending so much love, Libra. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you guys next week.